Paintball world. Here we are. First and foremost, let me apologize for being late. You know, we were supposed to do this like an hour and a half ago. I apologize, got into a little car trouble. So my deeply apology. But now that we're here and I got my guy Tonka Technical.
How you guys doing, man?
Oh man, you know, the honor is truly mine, first and foremost, for having you on my podcast. You know,
thanks,
we
buddy.
have so much to talk about, brother. So much.
Yeah,
much,
absolutely.
man.
I look forward to it. Listen, thank you so much for having me on the podcast, man. I'm really stoked about this. It's a real honor for me as well, man.
Yeah. You know, but before we get started on this topic, which is battlefield and mindset, I always start off with my podcast with how people, you know, give me a little small intro about yourself. You know, where did the name Tonka Typical come from? That's the question.
Okay, so I always give credit to my man Sega, who introduced me to MagFed a few years ago, and I was a bit bigger than I am now. And I was playing this tournament, a MagFed tournament. I think it was my first MagFed tournament. I was really, I played pretty aggressively.
Yeah.
And one of my teammates, or a couple of my teammates, were out. We were still in the field. I saw this guy, an enemy, across the field. I said, I'm going to nail this guy. So I ran. I booked it right across. I was so focused on this guy that I ended up nailing one of my teammates, actually the captain of the team, and he went flying.
Wow.
Now, I had no clue I nailed him. I just was so focused on gaining this guy. And then at the end, I nailed him. And at the end of the game, he came up to me and told me I nailed him and I just kind of knocked him. I kind of winded him and stuff. And then ultimately, he was saying, man, I felt like a truck, man. I felt like you got nailed by a pickup truck or a Mack truck. And then he was trying to come up with these names for me. And then, bam, he says, I'm going to call you Tonka. I'm going to call you Tonka. And from there, it stuck. It stuck. And that's why I've been Tonka all this time, man.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, again,
That's
I didn't realize. I apologized profusely to the guy, but shit happens. You know?
Hey, man, you know, hey, we do some crazy stuff. I mean, it's not the first time I ever shot my own teammate, you know. I've done some wild stuff myself. But, you know, in time, I learned where that came from. But that's deep, though, man. Right. That's deep. Not everybody will admit that they did that. Like, I'll give you an example. I'll give you a prime example. This happened before I went to PRZ. So where I'm at in New Jersey, in the U.S., our paintball field, you know, we have a MagFed meetup every month. And I remember like it was yesterday. I remember because it was a video I had posted on Instagram. I think it was beginning of July. Yeah, July. And I remember the first game that we played was at AutoZone. That's the small field where, you know, it's like close quarter combat from the rip. And I remember taking out like 2 or 3 guys, you know, in front of me, on the side of me. And, you know, this one spot I was there for a little minute. And I remember getting nailed in the head. I was like,
oh, shit.
And so I said, before I call myself out, I said, ref, come check me. So make sure I'm clean or am I hit? And so he wound up checking me and said, you're clean. I said, all right, let me do this the right way. Let me back all the way back up. Because I don't know who shot me. I said, let me back all the way back up and make sure I get in a better position. And so from there, I led the whole position the whole way. You know, I had a few guys behind me. I said, hey, I tapped this little container. Boom, boom, boom. Give me a tap if you guys are in there. So just in case we do push, you know, don't shoot us. Because 9 out of 10, it was a rookie that shot me. It was a rookie who just shot me, man. He probably been playing paintball for like 2 or 3 months and then realized he was trigger happy. So he shot me.
Yeah.
I say it's all good. Just remember, you know, if you see a teammate in front of you, never shoot in front of them. You know, always communicate and always talk. And that's what I told the guy after the game was over. Just communicate, brother. All you gotta do.
Yeah. And you know what? You need that trigger discipline, man. Because it's really easy in the heat of battle just to start firing away. But you have to have that discipline to know when to fire and when to hold off, like right away, right? A snap of a.
I mean,
whatever,
I don't.
Right?
But you know what's crazy? I got shot again that same game though. Toward the end,
Right,
I shot the last guy. I shot the last guy, Tonka, on the opposite team. I turn the corner, another guy shoots me from my side. I'm just like, bro, we're on the same team. I'm like, game is over. I was like, oh man, but
oh shit, man.
people gotta learn,
Hey,
man.
you know what happens,
that,
man.
They gotta learn, man. They just gotta learn, bro. Anyway, man. I'm done talking about this. It's driving me crazy right now. But
you know what? You got to think. Yeah. Like, I know we're only playing like pretend soldiers in a sense, right? You got to think, like, in a real war situation, you can understand how easy it is for friendly fire to be sniped off, to hit, to die from friendly fire, man. It's a real reality check, man. Because you think you're moving forward, you think you're safe, and boom, you get nailed in the head by your own teammate, right? Accidentally, of course, but it just goes to show you how easy it is to kind of get injured from like friendly fire, right?
You know what's crazy? I train myself as if it was a real life situation, and that's how I get better. But when you have guys that you don't really train with, that you don't know too much about, or that's on the same team as you, but you don't really know what they're capable of or what they can bring to the table when it comes to stuff like that, you'll be surprised. Like because I've been on 2 teams, and there's only a few guys that you can have on your side that can only do what you can do, and the rest of them, like you said, friendly fire you pretty easy and pretty fast, and don't even realize what just happened. But
you gotta kind of cross your fingers, hope for the best.
Yeah, so thank God that it's not it's not real life, because trust me, it would have been bad for me. I know, but you just gotta tell people, man, they gotta be more consistent on their shots. If you're out there, you gotta practice that. That's why we do training courses.
Yeah, absolutely. And the more you play, the better you get, right? So get out there and play, everybody. Get out there and play.
Please do. You're gonna need it. But no, Tonka. This topic, man, battlefield mindset. I'm sorry, is it battlefield mindset?
Yeah.
What's the topic again?
Battlefield mindset, man.
It's
been a long day, hasn't it?
It's been a long day. No, I'm playing with you.
It's all right.
Battlefield mindset, man. Battlefield mindset, and I just want to say this because, you've been playing for a couple of years, me as well. But from your perspective, what do you think battlefield mindset is?
It's funny you say that, because I was thinking about this the other day. As you know, I don't know if you know, but I have my own business, right? And I've had my ups and downs in business and stuff like that. And, not to get existential or get deep or whatever, but one of the things that I live by, one of the laws that I live with or by, is what's called the law of non-resistance. And I'll give you 30 seconds and I'll explain it to you. Such a law of non-resistance. And I'll give you an analogy. Think of like water going down a stream, right?
Yeah.
Water down a river always reaches its ultimate destination, which is the ocean or the sea. But you have a bunch of things that are blocking its way along that traveling journey, right? Yeah. That could be like dams, that could be logs, rocks, or whatever the case may be, sticks, whatever. Something that's impeding its journey, right? Now, water can either focus its attention on that rock or whatever, try to push it away, right? Focus on that, get pissed off, focus on that, get tunnel vision, focus on pushing that rock away. Or what it can do, which it does do, it just simply sees it, moves around, negotiates around it, and carries on its final journey, right?
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer of that mindset, right? Law of non-resistance. Now, things happen in the field. It go your way, it can go against your way in a negative way. And you can focus on that, you can dwell on that, and then you develop tunnel vision, you just focus on that, and all the stuff around you, you neglect, right? And then that's when you create vulnerabilities, right?
Yeah.
But in my mind, when things happen, don't necessarily just focus and dwell on it, adapt to it, change your plans, focus on other things, and move forward, right? And take your team with you. It's easy to dwell on one thing and get blindsided, right? But what you have to do is you have to stay focused, be adaptable, don't lose your temper, just deal with it and then move on, right? So don't just get focus on the one thing. Don't get pissed off. Just deal with it, man. And that's what I found in Honey Badger as well. Again, that I commanded there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You're the truth, man. I can say that you are the truth, you know, and I don't just say to anybody because I watch how you command it. You know, that's the one thing I do. You know, in order to be a great leader in life, you have to look at the next leader or the leader in front of you because that will determine if you're doing the right thing or not, you know. And watching you, man, you know, was not only did it inspire me even more, but you know, because you know, it gave me the ambition to be a better leader on the field and off the field. Like,
oh, thank you. That means a lot to me. That's really, really nice of you to say, man.
Yeah, and you are the truth, man. You know, just the way you took a small group of guys, you know, and the way they pushed, you know, the confidence you gave them, you know, that was deep. That was deep. And knowing that you have a big crowd, and let me just say this: I was supposed to be on a red team. I was supposed to be on a red team. You know, I signed up for the red team. But you know what? You know, and as well, Wolf Paintball. Shout out to Wolf Paintball for this. You know, first time meeting Wolf Paintball, man, and he's like a big brother to me. You know, I'm his little brother, and I remember asking him, you know, what team he was on, and he said Blue. I said, you know, okay. I said, he said, I usually go on the opposite team who have lower people to help them, you know, and I don't just help them just fight. I help them gain confidence, you know. I help them build up momentum, you know. Don't get them that losing mindset already, you know. Get them pumped up, get them ready, get them active, you know. So when he said that, that changed my whole perspective on the field, man. It really did. And so I say, you know what, I'm gonna join you. And from there, you know, being on the blue team was amazing, man. I mean,
thanks,
the effort, the fight, the fight was like you guys put up a great fight against the red team. You know what? That's a blessing.
You know what? Fuck. I always say this, man. My team were fucking warriors, man.
Yeah.
I swear to God, they were warriors. And I knew walking in. Now I can get into the reasons why we had low number. Well, I'll tell you a bit. With my business and just I was focusing on that, and I was a general at a bigger game, not a bigger game, but another big game. So I focused a lot of attention on enlisting people for that game, and I kind of neglected this one simply because of just work life. Anyways, we had for smaller numbers, and so we knew as a team we were going in as the underdog. I think the ratio was roughly about 4-1, 3-1 ratio. 4 to on the red side, 1 on the blue side. And I'll tell you, my soldiers, my freaking warriors, were amazing. They did not complain at all.
Yeah,
at all. Like the shit was down, but they just kept fighting. I never had to spur them on. Yeah, maybe initially because I told them, excuse me, we were underdogs, and I said, I knew you're fearless. You have to show them. I know you're brave, but show the other team how fearless you are and how brave you are. Bring the fight to them, so on and so forth. And they followed every command that I had with zero resistance. They fought like with passion, like I couldn't believe. I could not be more prouder than my team than I am now. Like and I still think of it to this day. Like it's been whatever, 2 weeks, a week ago, and I am still blown away. They never complained. They had a lot of opportunity to complain because we were getting our asses kicked initially. Now I'll tell you about the psychology that I use and all that sort of stuff in terms of the pregame, all that sort of stuff. But these guys fought with heart, man, with heart. They showed bravery like I've never seen before, given that we were the underdogs. And fuck, I couldn't be more prouder than I am now with these warriors, man. And I truly mean when I say warriors, they're not just players, man. They were warriors, man. They fucking gave it. They're all. It was unreal. It was unreal.
Yeah, you guys. Yeah, playing with you guys, man. That was amazing. You know, and not saying that back at home is not the same, but you know, you guys show true spirit. I always talk about character because you guys showed a lot of character out there, man. It wasn't that, you know, you guys were the underdog because you guys were top wolves. I don't even like the word dog. You guys to me were top wolves, man. You guys were top
Thanks, I
wolves
appreciate
because
that.
you don't find many guys like that. And I guarantee you, if you guys would come to the U.S. with that same amount of guys, I think you guys would have won that. I'm not gonna lie to you. You
Oh,
know,
I appreciate that.
and that's me.
Thanks.
That's coming from me. You know, from the U.S. You guys would have definitely
Thanks,
won that.
man.
You know, that's no lie because trust me, there's not many teams fight like that. You have teams who just give up. You have teams that say, you know what, they won, give it
Yeah.
to them, argue all day long, fight all day long, curse each other out. But you guys show true wolf mentality, true wolf spirit, and that's one thing I will always respect from you guys. You know, we will go down in
Thanks.
history as
Thanks.
as the top wolves. Man, I will make sure of that. Trust me, I will make sure it's
Thanks. I
documented.
appreciate that.
It's
You
documented.
know, I tell you, like, as a commander, you really gotta pay attention to your 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 guys. And when I say guys, I always incorporate males and females, right? Just use a
Yeah,
generic term. But you always have to get a feel of your guys if you're feeling down. And when they're feeling down or feeling a bit defeated, and that was very seldom. I think a lot of it was more fatigue because of the sun and the heat and just the heat of the battle and the whatever, right? But you got to get a pulse of your men or your guys, and you got to perk them up when they're feeling down. You know,
yeah,
words carry great meaning and massive motivation. You know, if you lack the words, the ways to motivate your troops, really, it could bring a team down really, really fast. Because you know, when you're the winning team, when things are really going your way, it's easy to have your team have high morale, right? You don't have to say much. You can just say a few words, and then their team is good to go. But really, when things are down, when you feel defeated or you're feeling overburdened or you feel that or you have the team your opposing team just bearing down on you, man, you have to motivate your team. You have to get into the psyche of your players, get them ramped up and ready to just be animals and be aggressive. Like I
yeah,
said, bring the fight to them. Because if you don't, man, and I got to tell you, it's not all me. It's a collaborative effort, right? Yeah, it's a commander, but really, we have a bunch of team leaders and my XO, Mech Tactical, Ryan Bell. We were all one cohesive team. And I'll tell you, like, I'll get into the psychology of how we prepped for the team and how we kind of got the other red team kind of going and stuff like that. But I'll tell you, when we had our objective, you know,
yeah,
I had a map. I had maps on my table and stuff like that at my base or whatever. And I had my team leads around me. And I said, okay, this is what we have to do. This is my game plan. Give me your input. And so we all sat around because my game plan is my game plan, but it will change. I'll take input from everybody because you got to be flexible.
yeah,
And so I say, okay, give me your thoughts. Lay it on me. Good, bad, or ugly. Just fucking lay it out. And so they changed my thought pattern, my plan. They concurred on some things, but nonetheless, by the end, we had a cohesive plan, and it was a team effort, and we moved forward. And I'll tell you, and I'll explain it to you later if you want. We had all these plans, right?
yeah,
But shit changed. Shit changed on the
yeah,
fly, right?
yeah,
And just because there's some errors in the game, not really errors, but just whatever, little mishaps, I'd like to say. Because I don't want to put down the game in any capacity. But and again, things didn't go the way we were told and how we planned based on what we were told. So again, I could have just dwelled on it, complained, bitch, but it's like, forget it. We switched it around. I told the guys, don't worry, we got this. This is what we're gonna do. This move, this, and we
yeah,
executed. You know, back behind my men, like
yeah,
off stage in a sense. I was like, fuck, I was kind of losing, but I would never ever show that to our warriors. Never once did I show an upset face or depressed or defeated. Never once. It was always go, go, go. Even in my back of my head, I was like, shit, man, this can't get any worse. Never did I once let my warriors know that
yeah,
whatsoever.
yeah. Never do, you never do, and that's something that I've always watched. You know, in all my years of playing paintball, and this is only my 5th year playing paintball. This will be, well, it's going on 6 years. It's going on 6 years. Right now, it's
Nice,
still in
nice.
5th, but it's going on 6 years. But all my years of playing paintball, man, I've watched different leaders lead and how they command and win or lose, draw. I always tell people, man, remain humble. Remain humble at all times, man, because you never know.
Exactly.
You never know when someone's watching you, and this is when the leadership kicks in. You never know who's watching you to see if you're going to be true to your character or be true to what you say and who you are. It's two different things, and people see that. People will see that and watch that, and
100%.
they have a choice. They have a choice to either stand by your side or leave you.
Yeah, you're right. I live and I've always tried to maintain integrity in every way possible.
Yeah.
Never once do maybe I fall through here and there, of course, it's whatever it happens, but very, very rarely. You have to maintain integrity at all times. Yeah. Even when things were hitting the fan and I had meetings with on the field with Big Red, who was a general of the other team, and Sean, who was the organizer, along with Adam. Things were kind of hitting the fan. You ask everybody, I always maintain calm and integrity. I didn't let my emotions get in the way in anything. Because you know what, really, number one, it's a game. Yeah. And Big Red, Tango, they're my buddies. Tango's the XO, for those who didn't know. I love, I'm known and I know a lot of people. And they're all my buddies, right? So first and foremost, I know this is a game. And the other thing is, this was the biggest Honey Badger game. It was a final one, Honey Badger X, Honey Badger 10. The organizers put so much effort into and so much passion into this game that I didn't want to ruin it for them by bitching and complaining. Because, really they tried their best. Yeah, just like anything else, there's ups and downs, things falter. But by and large, the game was a phenomenal event. And I just didn't want to create any ill will, I guess you could say, right? And I really wanted all the players to have a fucking wicked time. Because listen, it was an epic game. Let's face it, with the pyrotechnics and shit, the breaching. How insane was that, man? How insane was that? It's brilliant.
That was the best thing I ever saw. And what's crazy? What's crazy? My camera didn't work the whole time. Wolf gave me his camera to use for that day, so that was a blessing. So I got some footage of what I can, man. But that was amazing. That was amazing.
I gotta say something. You had mentioned at the top of the show about Wolf being the big brother of yours.
Yeah.
In my opinion, Wolf is the big brother for everybody. I talked to that guy for advice and stuff like that. Right away, that guy gets right back to you. I followed him for a long time prior to even playing or getting back into paintball. He's a guy that has great integrity, always into the sport, trying to build it up. Man, always helpful. Like when I flew out to North Carolina for a game, I called him. I messaged him, called him up. I said, "Listen, buddy, I'm flying over. What are the things that I should be aware of when I take my gear over on the plane?" And he laid it out all for me, exactly what to do. I did exactly what he said. I had no issues, man. He is amazing representative of the sport. Fucking beautiful guy, man. Beautiful.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And I don't know if I told you this, but he's the reason why I meant paintball. I never even knew paintball was like this until I watched his videos. And
I think you're not alone.
Yeah, I'm not alone in that. I don't think I am either.
Yeah. He's been an inspiration for everybody, right? And he's not the guy that never loses his shit. I've never once seen him lose his shit. In fact, he was running with me, as you know. And as well known as he is, he's very popular, whatever, right? He could have an ego, right? Just like any whatever, right? He can have an ego. When I was commanding, comes up to Richard, "What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do?" He was willing to have me command him, even though obviously he's been in the game much longer, well known. That's how humble of a guy he is. I said, "Listen, buddy, what I need you to do is do this. grab these guys, take these guys. I trust you. Take the lead on this mission or whatever into the building and do this, and this. It's like, I'm on it. That's how fucking wicked of a guy he is. Sorry, I swear a lot, so I apologize. But yeah, he's a great guy, man.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Because everybody think that, well, not everybody. I'm sure there's no disrespect for what I have, the Prophet Wolf. But I always remind people, I say, hey, I'm not a copycat. The wolf came from him. I wouldn't be no wolf if it wasn't for this man. He's the one that he gave me that blessing. He gave me that blessing to be the wolf. In reality,
that's flattery, right?
Yeah. The wolf, man. I had to keep that in the Prophet. A lot of people only wanted the Prophet for me, but I needed to keep the wolf, man. It's the mentality. The wolf mentality is deeper and bigger than just me. Anybody could be a wolf.
Yeah.
Anybody. That's how I look at it. Anybody can be the wolf. You just gotta show that you can.
Well, you're pretty aggressive out there, man. You're pretty aggressive out in that field, man.
Yeah.
So your name is well deserved, man.
I'm a regular guy, man. Everybody always asks me and always say I'm popular or I'm getting up there. I'm just a man just trying to put the community on the map. That's all.
Yeah. Well, listen, man. When I saw you at PRZ, I was like, holy sh! I was quite starstruck, man. I couldn't believe that was you. I was like, hey, I know you. Yeah. So listen, that was the fact that you came up to play this game, and that's mind blowing, man.
Yeah. So I couldn't miss it. I was supposed to been come out really last year, but I couldn't come out last year. So I said, this year I'm gonna try to make it. And me and Tango talk about this, for a while now. And so I told Tango, I'm coming. I said, let them know I'm coming. When I come, I'm bringing all the fun. I'm bringing all the fun with me, man. That's what it's about. It's about coming together.
And you know what, PRZ, man, it's shutting down. So it's good that you made it. This is the last season, man. So that's where I'm at. I'm here right now. I'm at a hotel. I got this hotel because it's the only place I can get Wi-Fi for this podcast. So I'm over. I'm heading over to the field tomorrow morning to play a game, an open game.
Okay. I did hear that they are starting a new field sometime next year, I suppose, and it's going to be a lot bigger than the PRZ field. I don't know how true that is, but
I did hear that they're opening a field somewhere. I'm not quite sure where that is.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you right now, as it stands, man, PRZ, there's a lot of great fields here in Ontario, but the uniqueness of PRZ is unmatched, really. It really is, with the buildings and stuff like that. Again, I don't want to discredit any fields because there are some phenomenal fields out here, like Commando Paintball and with Sega and Barry and Georgina and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. There's some Adrenaline's another one, but with the buildings and stuff, it's just it's insane out. But it's different. Everything has to end, right? Everything has to end, I guess, right?
Yeah, it has to be that way for other reasons, and nothing we can do about that, man. I wish I had the fun to keep that feel, but hey, I don't.
Yeah.
But
you got the memories though, man. You got the memories. That's all that
matters, man. Yeah, memories matter.
Man.
But
but it was fun generaling that game. I tell you, it was crazy. It was crazy, man. But I'll tell you,
dope.
Yeah, I remember, because we were, I guess, we were lower numbers. Like I said, I think there's a 3-to-1, 4-to-1 ratio. I had to use a lot of psychology in the prep, in the sense that I had to make it seem that I wasn't really paying attention to anything, because as you probably saw on Facebook, there were a lot of memes going back and forth, right? I couldn't fire off a lot of the memes, but with memes, there's truth behind the memes, right? That's what makes them funny, right?
Yeah.
And I knew from studying their memes that they were getting more and more confident. I knew because they had the numbers, right? It just made sense, right?
Yeah.
And I knew that they were really focusing on the numbers. And I knew that probably most likely, and I wish Tango was here because I'd like to get some input from him.
Yeah.
But I knew that they were probably getting overly confident because they had the numbers. And I imagined that their motivation was to crush us. So I made a conscious effort not. So we had a general's chat. Well, the Exos general and the organized, we had a chat.
Yeah.
And they were firing information back and forth. But I purposely didn't get on that chat because I wanted to boost that confidence that much more. Right.
Yeah.
And by thinking then, well, they were thinking, well, fuck, he's not paying attention to anything. You know, we're going to just crush him that much more. Right.
Yeah.
So it was funny because while that was happening, what they didn't know was that I was in constant communication with Sean, one of the organizers.
Yeah.
Getting all the details, like the fine details. And our team was amazing. We were breaking codes that they had that he goes, Richard, they haven't even discussed that. They haven't even figured that out. So we knew that how on the X and Y axis on the graph, on the chart, on the map,
yeah,
certain numbers were missing. And we knew that certain areas were really, really relevant and stuff like that. And he says, Richard, I don't know how you're solving this. It's like, well, we had the team, right? And we had these redacted documents. And we were, I was going in and I was uncovering what was underneath those redacted lines, right?
Yeah.
So I was trying to, just to get ahead. So I knew everything in detail. And one of the issues, and again, I wish Tango was here to talk about this, but I remember one of the issues was when we had the breach. What had happened, there was an error in the breach. So I had talked to Sean because I wanted to understand how the breach was going to work. So the breach, if anybody doesn't know, it was in this building, 3-story building, and there were 4 breach points. Okay, we had 2 entry points, and the other team had 2 entry points. And the primary entry points were to be blasted initially, which were at the polar opposite ends of the building. And then 90 seconds later, the other 2 breach doors were going to open up. So initially, 2 teams would flood in, and then 90 seconds later, the other 2 teams would breach and take over. But what we had a mercenary. We had hired a mercenary. We knew we could hire a mercenary, and that mercenary, and this will kind of get where it got screwed up. The mercenary, from our understanding, was going to be inside the building. And that mercenary was going to shoot out when the breach was open on that primary or the initial breach location. So that was going to like send the other team like, what the fuck's going on, right? So we knew we had at least 60 seconds to bring our troops in, take over the certain strategic spots in all 3 levels, and just block them their entry. But it didn't happen that way. Number one, the breach points that we were told that I had confirmed were not the breach points. It's like, oh, okay, whatever, fine. We screwed that one up. Well, they screwed up that. Number 2, the mercenary was on the outside of the building, not on the inside. So he wasn't stopping the entrance of the primary breach, or the initial breach. And number 3, actually, there's another thing. The breach happened simultaneously. They all went off simultaneously, which shouldn't have happened. And then lastly, the breach on the red side, they were allowed to go in sooner than our side. So they were able to get an entrance, right? Yeah. So that kind of screwed up all our entire plans, right? But here's the thing. I knew that, and again, I'm not saying maybe, and I could be wrong, but I knew that their goal from previous conversations, watching their memes, that they wanted to crush us. And so I felt that because that they just wanted to crush our team, they're going to have tunnel vision and they're going to be strictly focused on the primary mission, which is what they did, right? Which is what they did. So while all their freaking team was at the breaches, I said to the guys, okay, listen, they're going to focus on that building, which means the entire field is going to be empty. Yeah. So what we're going to do, we're going to split the group. We're going to have half you guys breach because we don't need the entire team breaching this building. Instead, what we're going to do, we're going to take half our team. We're going to split to the south end, split to the north end, we're going to acquire or what do you call it? Fortify the entrance to the staging area where we can bring the crosses and stuff. We're going to hold that position, hold the other position on the south side, and what we're going to do is we're just going to fortify that spot, gather all the crosses, and bring it in to the staging area to get points.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we did.
Yeah.
And I remember we had this conversation, and this is when we had a meeting during the game, actually, with the general of the other team and Sean, the organizer. He says, Richard, you can't do that. I go, what are you talking about? We can't do that. He says, you can't do that. We were all supposed to breach. I go, no, I confirmed with Sean that we didn't have to stay focused on this. And he goes, Richard, how do you know this stuff? You weren't even in the chat. You weren't even paying attention. And right away, I knew that my goal of them thinking that I wasn't paying attention was going to be their downfall. Now now to give them credit, they ultimately won the game, but not by a vast margin, right?
Yeah.
But I knew that because of that, they would primarily be focused. And even on that other mission where they had to get these flag masts into these bases and stuff near the end, I knew that they would all be good. We had a strategy for that as well, but I knew they were going to be focused on that. So while they were focusing on that, what we were doing, we were bringing in crosses and building up our bell tower to the level that they had. So, so it worked out kind of well. Again, it's all psychology, right?
Yeah.
That's
man, that's a great plan. I'm not gonna lie to you. I need to take that for my own when it comes to Winter Brawl this December, because that's I'm gonna need that.
Because you know, it's strange because, and this is how I've always played, in the sense that everybody focuses, even when you'll watch a game, right? Everybody focuses on the main battle. You'll see all the guns ablazing at the main battle. They have blinders on. Players have blinders on, in the sense they don't look around what's happening on the periphery. So what do? You take a team, you take a unit, you go by yourself, and you flank. You go way far and you flank them. I've done that a million times, where I've called right to the opposite side, right into their spawn practically, but not really the spawn, because you don't do that. And I just started nailing guys. Me and my crew, my unit, just boom, boom, boom. Because again, everybody stays tunnel vision, right? And that's where you have to be more flexible, right? Again, that goes along the lines of the law of, what do you call it? Law of, I just forgot the name now. Law of non-resistance, right?
Yeah.
Don't focus on one thing.
Yeah.
Move around, adapt, right?
Yeah. You know what?
That's my psychology degree.
Now that we're talking about this, because I had never been a general. Let me just say that. This will be my first time being general at Winter Brawl. But, I've always led troops. And, the way I led troops showed me that I had potential to lead an army, and I didn't just lead 10, 15, or 5 guys. I had led 60 guys, 80 guys, 90, 100 people. I have. And what's amazing about that is they watch what you do and watch how you command, and they see that this guy is the truth. True story. I can never forget this. First time I went to an actual event, it was a open game, of course. I remember, their leader at the time, I forget his name, but he wasn't, to me, putting in enough effect, when it comes to voicing, when it comes to strategizing. His team had a great plan, but I felt like he was just, doing whatever. But for me, I saw it differently. I'm on the front line. I'm actually looking at how things are going, and something told me to send guys the left side. Send guys left. Have guys take middle and right side. Let's ambush them as much as possible, because that left side looks open. It looks like it's enough cover to send a group of guys in there and see if they can try to take over that left side of themselves. And if they get that left side, I guarantee you, some of those guys on the opposite team will focus on that left side, which give us the advantage to go forward, right? And so by me seeing all this, my it wasn't even a game plan. It just came up out of nowhere. I said, let's push forward. If we got guys who can really push, like some real guys, we got this. True story. This is when my first name was The Predator came out. And this is when, you know, people first time seeing me and watching me go crazy on like teams.
Right on.
You know, it was actually Dark Ops. It was a Dark Ops event. You know, we was communicating all day long, talking all day long. I'm frontline all day long. And this time, I wasn't even sniping no more. I started getting my other gun, which was my first gun, which was the M17. I said, hey.
Nice. That was my first gun. Nice.
Yeah. Let's make a hard push. Let's get enough group of guys in the middle to keep pushing and to keep those guys focused on us until our guys on the left side and the right side flank. As we're flanking, or as they are flanking and maneuvering in that, I saw how so many people on the opposite team was starting to like dismantle. They were starting to break. You know, they broke their lines. They just started breaking, you know, as time and time. And I'm pushing them. I'm pushing guys. I'm telling them, come on. And man, it was a massacre out there. Oh man, we had It was the point where they was in their spawn. That's how bad it was, Tonka. We had them in their spawn, and the only way that they got out their spawn was they had to nuke us. Unfortunately, we got nuked.
Yeah.
So when we got nuked, that was it. But that right there showed me that I had the potential to be an absolute leader, and goes back to our topic, you know, battlefield mindset and leadership. You know, this is when your leadership is shown. And, you know, leading that game, you know, at MagFed events, you know, warfare is where the profit came from, you know, the profit. I remember doing a podcast with Tango. I think it was Tango. No, it wasn't Tango. I'm sorry, it wasn't Tango. It was actually shout out to Blackout. Shout out to Blackout and shout out to Castle. Those were the two guys at the time I had my podcast. And I said this. I said this is no lie. I said, hey, we're going to send about 40 to 60 of your guys home the first day of warfare. I guarantee you. And I'm not lying to you. I'm not talking shit. I don't talk shit.
Yeah.
I'm straightforward. I'm letting you guys know now. We're going to send a lot of you guys home. I said, because the way I strategize in my mind, the way I communicate with people out on the field and off the field, trust me, you guys will get crushed the first day. First day came it's warfare, man. Oh man, you know, at this time I was known as the lone wolf, but that day I was no lone wolf, man. I was a street leader on that field, man, and we dominated so much. I mean, we took over Wasteland. We took over these name of the fields. We took over Wasteland. We took over Castle. We took over this big map called Attack of the Fen. We took that over. Like, we were just taking over so many things, and I was leading away. You know, I'm telling guys to go left, go right, go middle, follow me, stay behind me. I'm telling guys to move forward with shields, all that. And man, it was a massacre out there. Oh man, it got so bad that we had to chase them down. And you know, from there, man, when I got back to my car to reload, I saw guys leaving. I saw guys packing their shit up and leaving. And, you know, shout out to Creep Show. What up? Shout out to Creep Show, man. He came over to me and said, hey, a lot of them guys are leaving. He was like, yo, you was right. Like the first day, you know, not even like 3 hours in or like half a day in, guys are leaving. He was like, yo, and he told me, he's like, yo, you are the prophet. And it gave him chills. He had chills like it was crazy. He started shaking in his chair. He was like, yo, you are the prophet, man. He was like, forget Lone Wolf, you are the prophet. Like, you spoke this 4 months ago before the event started, and you said that these guys would quit. You know, they would quit and they would leave and they would give up on their own guys. And they did.
Right.
They give up on their own guys. So,
wow.
You know,
And you know what? That's a thing. You know, whether you're a commander or like a business owner or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that you have to not be worried about is telling people what to do. You know, just telling, like, fucking not suggesting, fucking telling. You got to say, listen, this is where you got to go. You know, some people might be a bit, I don't know, apprehensive or modest or meek or whatever the case may be. But really, you can't be. You have to, when things are hitting the fan, you got to say, hey, listen, you got to go this way. There's no other option. You got to go this way. You got to fight your ass off, right? You got to get this ground or whatever the case may be. If you don't have that in you, you know, it doesn't matter. You just can't be a leader of any capacity, really. You know, if you can't tell people what to do. Now, I'm not saying you have to be closed off to everything, right? Because I'm not one of those people that do that. And that's just in life either, right? When you have a plan, you want to get input from everybody so that you come up with the ideal plan. And you can't have an ego where you're thinking like, you know what, my plan's the best plan. You can't you got to get rid of the ego because you can't be blinded by your ego where you put your team in a bad position. You know, there's a lot of knowledgeable people out there that have great vision and great perspective. And if you negate that and you don't listen to that, you know, you're putting yourself in harm's way, right? So you have to be open to your errors and be flexible enough and modest enough and humble enough to go in the direction that might not be the one that you think is right, but makes more sense. Not necessarily, I should say it's not right, but it goes against what you initially thought and go with that one, right? Because that when you have that kind of solid plan that makes sense by the masses, then you know you're good to go. Sometimes though, you might have to like say, shit, no, we got to do it this way. There's times that you have to do that, just in life, right? But you have to be flexible and you have to get your ego out of the way, by and large, right?
A lot of people have egos, you know. A lot of people have egos, and they'll know how to control it. You know, I get it. You know, life hits you a different direction. Can you handle it? You know, something that I always tell people: if life hits you a certain way, you know, can you handle the storm? You know, because when that storm comes, will you be prepared and ready to face that? You know, because you gotta go there alone. But you know, for me, and I'm just say this, you know, my story started when I had my first team, and I was a co-captain, and you know, I was under, you know, a guy who was the captain, and you know, a group of guys as well. I think the most was 12 of us, and you know, I saw a lot in that team, and you know, it shaped and molded me into the man I am today. And I'm gonna tell you why. You know, I watched the leadership. I watched, you know, the people. I've heard all kind of news and stuff, and not to talk bad on anybody like that, but you know, you see things, and you have to realize that, you know what, you know, your path is coming. It's coming sooner than you think. And so when I, you know, parted ways and stuff, because at the time, you know, life happened to me. You know, life happened to me, and I had to go through a storm. And going through this storm alone, you know, I had to question myself two things. Will I be the best version of myself or the worst version of myself? And I had to fight with that for about a while. And I came to the conclusion is I will be the best version of myself. I've already seen the worst version, or seen at least an example of the worst version of me. And I told myself, I don't go that route. You know, being the best version of yourself will not only help you, but help people around you see the different perspective in you and in themselves.
Yeah.
So I have here a quote. I have here a quote. I'm just going to read it real quick, and you can go ahead. It says here,
lay it on me.
You can have all the resources in the world with the wrong perspective, while the person with no resource with the right perspective.
That's really profound, man. And that's absolutely right. You're absolutely right. That's you got to send me that quote actually, because that's really, really good.
I'll do it right now.
You know, I got to tell you, like, you know, I'm a big believer of karma, right?
Yeah.
And whatever you do wrong will come back. Whatever you do good will come back as well, right? Yeah. And that's why I'm always a guy of integrity, right? And you know what? I'm a firm believer as well that everything works out in the end. I'm a firm believer. Buddy, man, If you knew my life and what I've gone through in my life and my ups and downs, and when people see me, people see me as like successful in business and stuff like that, and whatever in paintball and my following and stuff like that.
Yeah,
because they see the end stage, right? But they didn't see the moments building up to that, the ups and downs. And when I say downs, I mean downs like really, really financially in terms of my other businesses and stuff.
Yeah.
But you have to have the perspective that everything always works out. And if you have that perspective, you know that you can weather any storm that comes your way, right? It'll always work out. So if you maintain integrity and listen, when shit hits the fan and things don't go your way, it is very easy to become resentful and turn into a bad person. Because why am I getting dumped on? But it's a strong mind, strong heart, and a good personality and drive that will keep you on the straight and narrow. And knowing that everything's going to work out, knowing that you know that you can weather the storm and you'll come out with a better person. Like Friedrich Nietzsche said, man, that which does not kill you makes you stronger, right? You can be stronger mentally, physically, and move forward, and you can weather any storm, right?
Yeah.
So you have to always keep that in mind, right?
Yeah.
So, and that goes with even playing paintball. When shit hits the fan, if you have your guys, again, males and females, behind you, and you have a strong crew, and a good XO like I did, I had a phenomenal XO. You could weather any storm, right? And you could we could have crumbled at the beginning, like fuck it, we give up, we're done, right? But no, we kept on, man. We kept on. Now we had some team guys from the red side come over to our side just to level things out, which I really, really appreciate. But man, I tell you, they were warriors, man. They knew that they had to keep going and going and going because in the end it would work out, right? And it did. Again, we lost, but we didn't lose by a big margin given the ratio that we had, right? So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you guys definitely show, man, a lot of character, and that's something that I will always admire because, not only did you guys come out there to play, you guys work your asses off.
Buddy, man.
Trust me, hey, Tonka, I would never lie to you. When I tell you, I have seen people give up. I have seen people leave. Pack all their shit up, all their gear, their guns, and leave. And don't even come back and say, no, I apologize. I was just mad. Just go straight home. You guys didn't do any of that.
Oh, man. So
you got to believe me. You got to believe me.
That's what I'm saying, man. I cannot be more proud of my team. I just can't. They're phenomenal. That's why they're not just players to me. They were freaking warriors, man. I'm telling you. And I'm not trying to be dramatic. I am so proud of my team. What they did and how they stuck in there, mind blowing. So impressive, man.
Yeah.
Remember the Alamo, right? That's what I kept saying to those guys. Remember the Alamo, guys. Remember the Alamo.
Yeah.
So it was good. Brilliant people, man.
You guys are the truth, man. 100%, and I can never forget that. You guys definitely show a lot of heart out there, man. And for anyone that's watching this podcast, always remember to put put yourself first. Remember who you are and remember where you come from. Cause that goes a long way. And if you have a team, make sure that you build your guys up. Not just to play, not just to do whatever you guys, intend on doing. Build your guys up the right way, the proper way. Build their character up, encourage these guys. Look after them on and off the field. Make sure their families is good.
100%, man.
Yeah, that's what it's about, man. And I'm not coming at nobody. I'm not speaking any terms and things, but I have been around people, and trust me, I have seen what I've seen, and I don't like it. So I'm telling you guys now, if you have a team, check on your guys, man. Make sure they're good, because people go through shit.
100%.
They go through shit, man, and trust me, you want everyone to be good at the end. Make sure they're good.
Yeah, you got to take care of your players. You have to take care of your players. You got to care for them like their family, right?
Yeah.
Because other players will see that as well. And you know what? Here's the thing: you have to be sincere about it too, right? Sincerity. Being fake is transparent as fuck, man. You can see that a mile away. But when you're sincere and you're being helpful and you're just inspiring, man, that will drive. That'll just create that much greater of a cohesive group that will build momentum and take ground, right? So, yeah.
That goes a long way when you put your team first, man, or put yourself. I keep saying team first. Put yourself first, because you gotta find yourself. You gotta find yourself and find who you are, and find your character. A lot of people that go over a lot of people's heads, but like I said, I'll break it down to you real quick. When you find yourself, you find who you are. When you find who you are, you find the character that you're supposed to have. And people will see that and know that, and they'll be happy for you. Don't get me wrong, you're gonna have some haters in this world who's not gonna like what you do. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like, everybody don't like me.
Yeah, me too, man.
They don't like Tonka either,
man.
But hey,
it's just the way it is, man.
But people love us at the same time. So it's love and hate, but at the same time, love always positive, and love always defeats evil and negativity all the time, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%, man. Just have a thick skin as well, man. That's what you gotta have. You have to have a thick skin. But yeah.
There's a quote. There's a quote that, oh man, this quote has saved my life many times over. I have always kept this in my mind at all times. There's a quote that people should, and I always say in my podcast. There's a quote. The man that views the world at 40, same way he views the world at 20, has wasted 20 years of his life.
Brilliant, man. Yeah. You are the prophet, my man. Very profound, man. Yeah. You can see the way you think. You can see that you'd be a great leader because you don't talk nonsense. You talk very inspirationally. Yeah. And like I said, words carry people far, man. And if you have that wisdom and the motivation, those existential thoughts and profound thoughts and words, man, you're a born leader, man. You're a born leader. People will follow you. And you care for people, right? And you're real. You're authentic, and people see that. And you know what? I'll run with you, man. I'll run with you anytime, man. You let me know. I'll got your 6 anytime, man.
Tonka, man, I truly appreciate that. That was deep. Because I have heard what you have said a million times, man. And every person that told me that, they always had my 6.
Yeah.
So welcome to my family. Welcome to my family, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that, man.
Welcome to my family, man. It was a pleasure, meeting you on the field, man. I would have never thought that I would have met you. You're a great guy, man. You're a great guy.
Likewise, man.
I heard a lot about you, bro. A lot about you, man. And you are the truth. You are the truth,
Thanks.
Man. God is the truth. But,
right back at you, man. Truly, right back at you, man.
Yeah. You. Oh, snap! Someone had a question for you, Tonka. I didn't even realize it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, what's up, man?
All right, Ryan Russell. Shout out to Ryan Russell. He said, Tonka,
my man,
talk about how you got into your giveaway in the paintball.
Yeah. I Ryan, first of all, I love you, man. That guy. Oh, shit. I meant to wear the bracelet. I got to say, but before I begin, Ryan made me a bracelet that I wear every game. It's like my good luck charm. It's a black bracelet that I wear. But anyways, going back to why I created my group, I think I have close to 2,000 members in my Facebook group now. But the reason why I grew that was specifically because of this guy, Airborne. John Adams is his name. And we went to a charity game for this photographer's grandchild who was going blind, and it's just designed to raise money. I won't get into the details of that. But anyways, I was introduced to John Airborne, who's a really famous paintball player here. Really humble guy. I was with my son. This guy, this is how amazing this guy is. introduced I've never met this guy before. This is the first time me and my son have ever met him. He gave him, and this is a guy that plays speedball with a Tipex. With guys that have speedball guns, he runs with Tipexes. Wow. Dual. Anyways, he gave my son not only one of his Tipexes, he gave him a headband. He gave him this First Strike barrel plug. Just said, here, take it. My son was absolutely blown away. To this day, that headband he wears all the time at every game. He has his gun and all that sort of stuff. And it was because of his action, Airborne's action specifically, and the result, the shock and awe of my son after receiving that, I said, you know what, I'm going to do the same thing. Because of that action, it made my son instantly loyal to paintball. And it was embraced by the community. So I said, I'm going to do the same thing. And so that was my mission. I wanted to build up the community. I wanted to build the community in such a fashion that it brought really loyal people. Not loyal, but it just inspired them to be loyal. And then bring in other people. So what I started doing events to raise money to buy markers for new players. So I would do these. That's why Tonka Tactical events at big games. I'd give out brand new markers to the best new players. And I grew a great following, and I provide all these different paintball gear to all of my members and all that sort of stuff. And my members are phenomenal, like just a really, really great bunch of people. And yeah, it was because of the actions of Airborne that inspired me to create the Tonka Tactical Facebook group, which I think I can't look at. I haven't looked at the numbers. I think it's like 1,900 people or something like that, 1,800 members or something like that, and it's constantly growing.
Yeah.
And yeah, we have these events, and people win like EMFs, masks, paint, First Strike rounds, you name it. It's an amazing. Actually, what I'm giving away is my next thing is these carbon inserts in barrels. They're brilliant too, and they're cocker. What do you call it? Auto cocker threads. I'm going to cut a video, YouTube video on my channel that I'll announce how you can win that. But yeah, I try to So yeah, that's how Tonka Tactical Facebook group was created, all because of Airborne. Yeah, I always give credit to that guy, man. Always give credit to that guy.
Wow, that's amazing, man. I love to hear stuff like that, you know, because you know what's crazy? I had plans and I totally forgot. I had a box of t-shirts. I have a business too. Nice. It's right here actually. Humble Warrior Worthy. That's my business. I had t-shirts I was supposed to give to you and a few other people when I saw you guys, but I left the box home, man. I left it home, so you know what? I didn't hear about you guys, so I'm gonna try to mail it to you if I can, if possible, to Canada. But
yeah, I'll mail you some of my stuff too.
Yeah,
I have a website where I have paintball tees. I'll send you something. You know what? The DM. You know what? I'll tell you what. My website is called tonkatactical.com. I have a bunch of t-shirts and hoodies and shit like that. Go jump on it. Tell me what you want, and I'll fire it off to you, man. Anything. Oh man. Pick anything you want. Hoodie, t-shirt, whatever. Let me know. Okay. Yeah. Same here. DM me your address, and I'll hook you up, man.
Oh man, you hear that? That's a blessing. Wow, Tonka, you are the truth, man. Appreciate that. Same here too, man. Same here too. You know what? Same here too. You know, I have some great gear, hoodies, t-shirts, sweatsuits, shorts, long sleeves, man. Nice. Yeah, I got you too, man. Trust me, I got you too. Yeah.
I appreciate that, man.
Dope, cool. Man. Very dope. Oh, but before we go, Tonka, I have a question for you, Tonka.
Yeah, man. Anything. Ask me anything.
If someone right now was supposed to get on this podcast and watch this podcast and be encouraged by it, you know, what encouragement could you give to them? What wisdom could you give to them, you know, knowing that, you know, one day they'll be in this sport, one day they'll watch this podcast and they'll see, you know, what me and you talked about and how it will transform them, you know, into who they want to be in paintball. What encouragement do you have for that?
In direct relevance to paintball itself?
Paintball and life.
Or just in life?
Both. Let's say both.
Yeah, that's a really good question. You know, my thing is this. Always two things. Number one, like I said before, actually maybe three things. Number one, like I said before, everything always works out. You're going to face ups and downs in life, but you always have your number two, keep your head up. Just stay focused. Remember, everything will work out. Just to join the paintball community, listen, I've been asked to join airsoft communities and teams and so on and so forth. But paintball, the community, the family here, in my opinion, is like no other. Like everybody will help you out. I leave my stuff on the table under my tent or whatever. I never have to worry about anything ever being stolen. I can leave my wallet and I'll never have to worry about it being stolen. Yeah. The paintball community is good, right? So if you need a group of people to hang out with, to befriend, to inspire you, come out here. Because I'll tell you another thing as well, man. It doesn't matter what your educational level is. It doesn't matter what your income level is. It's irrelevant. Everybody treats you all the same. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have a disability, you don't, educated, not educated, rich. It doesn't matter. Everybody treats you the same. And that's the beauty behind our community. And that's why I'm so passionate about growing it. And I'll help almost anybody. That's why my door is always open. Whatever people DM and my things go off all the time, right? And lastly, like I said before, the other thing that I live by is law of non-resistance, man. Don't get so focused on the negative. Don't get so focused on the barriers. Just move around it. Get to your ultimate destination. You'll get there. You'll always get there. You just got to stay focused. Keep your head up, okay? And remember, everything works out. So that's all I have to say.
Wow. You heard it from the man Tonka, man. Tonka Technical. Man, you are one of the dopest brothers, man, I've ever.
Hey, thanks.
Boys, might call me. Sorry about that. It's my lady calling me. No, just real quick before I go.
See you later. Have a good night. Podcast over.
But before I go, Tonka, man, you are honored on my podcast anytime, brother. You are very dope, man. It was great running with you at PRZ. Not only, like I said, the leadership, the battlefield mindset was amazing from you guys. I will always be inspired by that. That's the one thing I always look at when I travel. And you guys didn't even prove anything to me, but you guys showed your asses off, man. And I will forever be grateful for that. Trust me.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Me and you have a lot planned, bro. We have a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Trust me. A lot of plans in the future. It's meant for us, man. And anyone who watching this. That. There's a comment here. I think it's for you, Tonka. It says here the law of non-resistance state that when we resist a condition, person, or thing that we don't like or want, we are adding power to it.
Yeah, that's true too, right? Yeah, absolutely. Just don't. Yeah, that's a really good thing. You don't have. That's the thing, man. Fuck, man. I cannot tell you how many. I have a person. I won't mention his name, but he had some really negativity in his life, and I just talked to him the other day, and it became all consuming to the point where, it almost led to a really bad demise for him in a sense, right? Because the more you know what, listen, I don't want to get too technical, but we have filters in our brain, right? That if you see it, say for example, you want to buy, I don't know, let's say a Land Rover, right? Yeah. You're about to buy a Land Rover. Everything you see is a Land Rover when you just happen to be driving around, right? Because we have these filters in our brain that prevent us from getting overwhelmed by all this input. So if you see all negative or you think all negative, all you see around you is negativity. And it just puts you in a downward spiral, right? So you got to, even though the clouds are above you and raining upon you, you have to shift, move away, get into the sun, see the positivity in life, man. Because when you see the positivity in life, that's what you'll see. Your brain will filter out all the negative and you just see positive, right? So, yeah. So Alexander, Good point, man.
Yeah, that's very deep. And you know what? That's why, and I don't know if many people know this, but I am a motivational speaker in real life. So I do a lot of motivation,
I can see that.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I could see. I used to lecture a lot of doctors all around North America. God, I could see that.
Oh, wow.
I saw that in you, man. Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Good
So
for you, man.
I thought you knew. Well, no. If you follow my other page, then you will see a lot of videos of me walking, talking with suits on, and stuff like that. Yeah, I do a lot of that, man. Yeah, I'm consistent
fantastic, man.
Yeah, I'm fine. I didn't tell you that, Tonka. I thought I did. It must slip my mind, man. Wow. I'm everywhere,
that's why you're
bro.
so articulate, then.
Yeah, it is.
That's why you're so.
Man.
There you go.
It is.
Jeez, that's even more impressive, man. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. Good for you, man.
I'm a starter in this too, so I've been doing this for a couple of years, man. I'm not a money person. A lot of people say that I should be a money person when it comes to that. No, my biggest heart is getting people to understand, not even understand your perspective, but if they listen to you, they will know that it's real. And so for me, I've always been a real guy. When it comes down to people, I will always put people first. I don't need money to get people first, man. I will always put people first. That's my goal in life, man. That's my goal in life. So
that's a noble characteristic, man.
Yeah,
very much so.
You got to, in this world we're living in now. Oh man, you gotta, put people first, man. So many lives are being destroyed, taken away. It's a massacre out here, man. So I try to help whoever I can help, and I try to do what I can, But you can only save who you can save. But Tonka, man, I gotta go. My girl is really bugging me right now. But listen, man, it was great. It was great having you on my podcast, brother. Let's do a part 2. And I will be sending you information, sending you stuff as well when it comes to my clothing line and everything. I want to have you for Winter Brawl, man. I need you for Winter Brawl. I need you. I need you and your Warriors. I need you guys, man.
For sure. Guys, I'll be down there, man.
Yeah.
I'll be down there. Brother. Don't worry about it.
I can't wait.
You
man.
bet, buddy.
Yeah.
Listen, thank you so much for having me on your podcast. It's truly been an honor to be on your podcast, man.
Yes, sir. Honor is mine, as always, man. And for anyone that's watching this, please like and subscribe my channel. Next podcast will be next week. I will be having my guy Sidewinder Paintball. He's next. Yeah.
Nice.
Been talking Sidewinder, man, because he was one of the guys who was on my 6. He's on my 6 the whole time in that building. So you gotta talk about that.
Great guy, man. Great freaking guy.
And you're welcome, Tonka. You're welcome to join us if you want. You're welcome to join us if you want, man.
Yeah, man. Oh, there's Alpha 22, man.
My guy.
Comment, man.
My guy.
I love that guy, man.
One love, brother. It was great seeing you too at PRZ.
You too, man. Take care. Say hi to your girlfriend for me, eh?
Will do, Tonka. You take care of yourself, man.
All right.
Peace, everybody.
Bye now.